This is Miss Lizzie, and I want to welcome you to the Queen Lizzie podcast. Together, we will go through the history of Rosewood, Florida, and watch as the once prosperous town rises out of the bloodshed, fire, and ash to reveal the people, the memory, and the legacy of Rosewood. Watch every Thursday on Facebook and YouTube, or listen to our story on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Hello, everybody. I am Lizzie Robinson Jenkins, representing not only the Rosewood Foundation, but the personal testimonies and history of cherished friends and family. You are now watching the Queen Lizzie podcast. Today, we are talking with Miss Tisha Jackson from Tisha J Consulting.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Miss Jackson,
How are
and
you?
welcome to Queen Lizzie podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. I feel honored.
Yeah. And I'm honored to have you.
Absolutely.
And we're going to talk about Rosewood, and we're going to talk about history from my sister's point of view. Mm-hmm. And by the way, you all, today I am interviewing Miss Jackson, who is representing my nephew, who could not be here today. And my nephew is the son of my sister, and my sister was a Rosewood descendant also. Not was, is
Yes.
a Rosewood descendant always, but she is no longer with us. But let me tell you about a story. In 1943, I remember very well, my mom said to us, and this was the first time Mother talked to us about Rosewood. My mom said to us, 4 children, my sister was 11, 2 brothers, 7 and 9, and I was 5 in 1943. So my mom was the bearer of history. Okay, she was her sister, who was the Real Rosewood school teacher. She was her historian. And after the Rosewood massacre, Mom's sister, my aunt, who was the teacher, my husband, Gussie Brown Carrier, shared her story with my mother. And the reason she told her story to my mom is because during the Rosewood massacre in 1923, she was gang raped by the KKK.
Oh, wow.
And back then, that was an embarrassment to the entire family.
Absolutely.
And she was too embarrassed to tell her parents that they had gang raped her. So she told my mom. Not only did she tell my mom about the raping, she told my mom everything that happened. Everything. So I'm more than sure Mom probably had talked in my dad, to death, or just talked to him about Rosewood. So she needed somebody else to talk to. I assume she never said this. So in 1943, one cold night, sitting in front of the fireplace, my mom said to the 4 of us, her children, y'all sit down on the settee. Mom is going to tell you a story about the Rosewood massacre that happened to a sister in Rosewood. I had absolutely no idea what the word massacre meant.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure.
And when she used the term in Rosewood, roses in the woods came to my mind, and I carried that forever with me, thinking roses in the woods, until I was old enough to understand that Rosewood was a town where her sister moved to from Archer. Okay, so on this particular night, my mom started with the story, and as I said, she told us everything. And I'm not going to go into details what she told us, but I noticed my brothers, they were not happy campers because I assumed they were tired, so they were not good listeners. So eventually, both went to sleep, and my sister, LaMonica's mother, was in another world. Mm-hmm. She did not want to hear this story. As I said, at 11, she was thinking about something else. But for some reason, that story attached itself to me. And I remembered as much as I could remember before finally I went to sleep, too. But when I said it attached itself, I knew the next morning something had happened. My mom had told me the story. I had not forgotten the details, but yes, I had forgotten the details, but I had not forgotten the effect that it had on me. And I knew something bad happened to her sister because when she was telling the story, she was twiddling her fingers. I remember that. So at breakfast the next morning, 4 a.m., that's the time we were awakened each morning to get up to get breakfast and do our chores before we went to school. So Mom cooked breakfast, and I looked at her, and I wanted to know more. But back then, parents talked with their eyes, and she said to me, this is not a good time, because she knew the other kids were not interested. So we didn't talk about it during breakfast, but I sure talked about it whenever we got time together, the two of us. I said, Mom, I want to hear about that story. If my sisters or brothers were around, she would say to me, not now, or not yet. Eventually, we got together, we started talking about Rosewood, and Rosewood became our story. And today, it is
Our story.
It
For sure.
is our story.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm going to talk about LaMonica. LaMonica is my sister's youngest son, okay? And he has a foundation. And I would like for you, because you work with him, you are his...
I actually stepped in as part of his advisory committee.
Okay.
But his main individuals would be him and his wife. He's
Yes.
the president, she's vice president.
Okay.
He approached me to assist and help him to make sure that this event would be successful. We would reach the community, let everybody know about it. And since I'm involved with a lot of organizations, I told him, yes, I would love to. And then not only that, you and I had seen each other last year,
Yes.
the same time frame.
Yes.
And I said, this must be God sent. I said, because her and I sat there and talked, and you told me about you were going to Atlanta and for your Juneteenth schedule. And I had it in my mind. I said, oh, I just pray that we could do something with you in Marion County and being part of the NAACP, but they already had some plans for NAACP Day, and then you were supposed to come back, and then I think some things didn't work out, so this was God sent.
God said it really was.
So I've been on a journey, I guess I should say, to assist the Circle Inc., who have done some phenomenal things within Marion County years past. So it seems as though he has revamped and he started everything anew. And this event that's scheduled for June 16th, we're inviting you as our keynote speaker Friday at a beautiful facility, which is the Mary Sue Ridge building.
Yes.
And we are looking forward to it because Friday will kick off Juneteenth weekend. So it's exciting.
Perfect. And when we met, I didn't know you. I didn't know about your consulting business, and I didn't know that you knew my nephew.
Right. and I, like I told you, that history goes way back because he originally was in Boys and Girls Clubs.
Yes.
And when Sam was in Boys and Girls Clubs, executive director of Boys and Girls Club, I was in radio, entertainment, and some said, come off the streets and hopefully give back to the community. And I went to the Boys and Girls Club initially to volunteer.
Right.
And then when they relocated, that new executive director was like, can you run our art room? And then I told him that's when my history started with the Boys and Girls Club. So it's 19 years, I think, year before last is when I resigned. So we kind of have this history of youth programs, community outreach, and now we're back working together for the Circle.
Phenomenal, phenomenal. And as you said, God.
Yes.
But God. And most people that I meet these days on the street or at church or different organizations, God is putting them in my life. Let me tell you something I did, and he probably doesn't want me to talk about him, but the president of the University of Florida, when I was between 1993 and 2023, 30 years, I spoke 29 times at the University of Florida. So recently I was reading letters that I had invitations that I sent out to different people with authority throughout the state of Florida. And they would respond. So because I had spoken so many times at the University of Florida, and I had supporting evidence, letters that I have right now, I decided 10 or 15 days ago to write the president because he, was not aware of what I had done. And I posted a letter on my Facebook, and I followed up with a letter requesting some things from him as the new president. But you know what? I liked the letter, but I thought it was too invasive, so I removed it. I took it down. But people had liked it because I was just bringing to his attention what I had done in the community. And it said, for years you have talked to different classes, and we have invited people in, such as former Attorney General Janet Reno, and then another famous attorney. They had invited them in as speakers, and I said to myself, and then it went on to say, and many federal judges have been in to speak. I said, now, this attorney who was the president of 11 law department thinks that I am as great a speaker as Janet Reno, and I know he wasn't saying that, but he wanted me to come in and speak for his class.
Right.
So I just decided to share that with the president, and then I took it down, but guess what happened? This was like 10 or 15 days ago. I wrote the letter, I took the letter down, I removed it from my Facebook. The letter, the document that I had written, but I left the letter up there, and it's still on my Facebook. So Saturday, May 20th, I was at the Cotton Club where we were celebrating the 20th of May, and a young man and his wife approached me, and he said, good morning, ma'am. He said, my name is Ben Sass, and his wife said, and I am Melissa Sass. And I said, nice to meet both of you. I said, I am Lizzie Jenkins. And a flash, something went off, and I said to him immediately, Ben Sass, you are president? He said, yes. And I said, God sent. He had no idea what I was talking about. His eyes, flashed, and his wife the same. What I met you in person, and you were on my mind. God had put you in my life. I needed to see you today.
That's right.
Okay, so these are the things when I say we have met each other.
Yes.
We don't know how. God sent. And I needed to meet him.
Absolutely.
And I told him in person what I wanted to tell him. And we talked about Rosewood, and he wanted to know where is Rosewood. So he doesn't know it, but I want you to know, Dr. Sass, I will be involving you.
That's right.
And teaching you
teaching him for sure.
some Rosewood history.
That's awesome.
That was awesome. So that is what I do, and I enjoy doing Rosewood work because I want people to know always that I am the president of the Real Rosewood Foundation, and you can find me at rosewoodflorida.com. rosewoodflorida.com. You may make a donation. Please make a donation. We are trying to relocate the Rosewood House to Archer and make a museum. Right. Okay, the house was donated to us in 2021, and we are working really hard to move that house. And as I said, we plan to make a museum, and it's not for us; it's for the next generation. It's for our kids. We cannot forget.
They cannot forget. And they need to know.
And they need to carry it on.
Absolutely.
People like you, because I am older. However, I want this work and this foundation
to continue. That's right.
With our circle.
Absolutely. The circle has a lot of new events that'll be coming up. This will be the first one.
Sure.
I'm glad to be able to announce that dates have not been set, but their main goal is basically to reach the community with some of the events that they've done in the past. And I'm looking forward to being a part of their READ program, where I'm hoping that we can partner with Jack and Jill. So I've talked to Tony and regarding Jack and Jill assisting and helping us with the READ program, where we can place some books into some schools or some organizations, because we used to partner when I was with Boys and Girls Clubs, so they helped me a lot at 2 of my facilities. Black Music Month is actually next month, so it's got a short notice. But I feel as though as long as the circle is a part of anything that deals with Black history, then they can be a part of that. But I think we're talking with Sam, we are aiming for next year. Hopefully we'll be able to bring something to the platform. And then of course Juneteenth is one of their well-known celebrations, where we are having you as our keynote speaker. And from what I've been told, which they had to let me know, their community service merit award will be announced at our Juneteenth celebration. And so I'm not to reveal who that is, but it will be announced from what I was told. And then just getting connected to the community and being there and being valuable assets to stakeholders, getting donations, raising money. 3 scholarships will be given out that night.
Wonderful.
So I think the efforts is to continue to raise money for scholarships moving forward. So I'm excited. I'm just glad to be a part of it. Like I said before, the organization was well known for some of the things they did back in the past that I just knew of. So now I'm able to actually connect with some of the past board members, see how we can get them back involved. And I can help in every way that I can with consulting and marketing. So that's really what I've been
I'm looking
doing.
forward. Also, and we will partner. You can partner with the Real Rosewood Foundation.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's a double whammy.
Yeah.
Family.
I'm looking forward to that too, for sure. Whatever we can do to assist and help, not only in Marion County, but my old stomping grounds of Alachua County.
All right. And we have some events coming up too on June 10th. Anybody interested in going to Rosewood or coming to Rosewood, we will be there. I'm taking a group there, but it's not limited to just that group. I'm telling the same story every time I take someone to Rosewood. I tell the same story, and people know it's nothing there but the house and the historical marker, but just being on the soil, makes a difference. Because last weekend I took some friends to Rosewood from Winter Park, from the Hannibal Square Museum, and they collected soil to take back to Winter Park, and they are going to plant a garden. And they wanted the people that's going to be present when I speak there on the 17th. So I'm speaking in Ocala on the 16th, which is Friday night. Saturday I will be in Winter Park, which is the 17th. I'll be speaking there. So if anyone listening, and live near Winter Park, you are welcome to join us. And I will sing my Rosewood song that my mom wrote about her sister in 1995. And this is, I'm just going to sing a couple of lines, but this is the one that, the 4 lines that I like very much, because it talks about her sister. And it goes like this. The Cedar Key train conductors were told to pick up in Rosewood. Standing by the tracks with a lantern, its young school teacher stood, waiting in desperation to carry out the sheriff's plans, rounding up the hidden survivors to board the midnight train. Now, what my mom had in mind when she wrote that particular verse, she wanted people to know that the train, had it not been for the store merchant, the Levy County Police, and the train conductors, her sister and the people of Rosewood would have perished. So she put that song, those lines in there for a purpose, not to divide, but for us to join together in unity and respect each other. And she often told me, babe, you didn't create Rosewood, and we didn't create Rosewood, and they didn't create Rosewood. It's history. We must keep it present. We must preserve it. You must research, document, never attack anyone. And I have followed her
That's
command.
awesome. I think that's wonderful. Now you say you're not going to be an archer. I'll be an archer on Saturday.
This Saturday,
No, for Juneteenth weekend.
I'm coming back
Oh, awesome.
Saturday.
My artist that I do bookings for, Sheba the Mississippi Queen, she's going to be performing.
Yes, I am a member of that organization, and we're going to stop right here.
Yes.
We'll pick up with this Mississippi Queen, and I'll tell you something about Mississippi
Absolutely.
in a few minutes. Okay. It's about time for our first half to end. We are going to head to a quick break, and we'll be right back after a quick Rosewood word. My name is Lizzie Robinson Jenkins. I am the president and founder of the Real Rosewood Foundation, established 2003 in Archer, Florida. Years ago, in a little town called Rosewood, Florida, there was a massacre. Several people were killed, all because of guns, violence, disrespect. We cannot allow gun violence to take out our young kids. We're coming together. We're going to work together. And we are going to put guns on the run. GNV.
I am Black History.
I am Rosewood Black History.
I am Florida
and
and
America's Black History, and you are too.
January 1st, 1923, the KKK insurrectionists attacked Rosewood, killing 5, burning it down.
Because a white woman lied and cried, a black man assaulted me. Rosewood redevelopment is on its way.
Want to help? Visit rosewoodflorida.com.
Welcome back to Queen Lizzie Podcast, recorded right here at Spurrier's Grill Iron Grill in Coach Spurrier's own podcast room. We are here with guest Tisha J. We
Yes,
are
ma'am.
back.
We are back.
And before the break, you were talking about Mississippi.
Sheba the Mississippi Queen.
Okay.
Yes, I fell in love with Sheba.
Okay.
She also performs with the Bluesmen. Normally she performs with an 8-piece, but she will be coming to Archer for Juneteenth Festival.
Yes.
And the organization approached me. Actually, I had Michelle Lamb there for the kickoff of
Yes.
Mother's Day,
Yes.
and we enjoyed that. That's the reason why I was like, you're not going to be in Archer, but you said you're coming back.
I'm coming
So
back.
that'll be good. You'll get a chance to see Sheba.
Okay.
So she's going to perform some blues, some country,
Yes,
some of her
yes.
own selections, because she has a couple of CDs, albums.
Okay.
She also wrote a book.
Okay.
So she'll probably have me on location with all her information.
Perfect.
But I'm going to come with her, and I think she also told me she's going to bring Wolfman, which is a gentleman that also sits in with her, but I'm not sure if he's going to perform. But we are looking forward to it. So we have been honoring Archer.
Wonderful. And I am a member of ACPO. I was not
Yes.
there Mother's Day because I was in Winter Park
Okay.
for Mother's Day
okay.
weekend. But I am performing Saturday morning in Winter
Park,
And I'll
okay.
have time to come back. Now,
Awesome.
is she from Mississippi? Is Mississippi
She is
home?
actually from Mississippi.
All right, wonderful,
yes.
wonderful.
And she has a couple of singles that's on a couple of CDs that give the history
Yes.
of them and picking cotton
Yes.
and how they were raised with their mother and her
Yes.
twin sister.
Yes.
So she has a couple of CDs. So she's very historian on the history. She loves the community. She loves individuals individuals to get out and speak and be doing their civic duty.
Okay.
So I just love her. So she also comes here to Gainesville too and performs
Okay.
for a couple of different senior living locations here. So she's normally moving around. They were at a
Perfect.
winery, they were in
Perfect.
Miami. She's
Perfect.
all over the place.
Perfect. And the reason I'm so excited is because Mississippi is my hometown. Born and
Really?
bred there. I wasn't born and bred there, but my great grandmother was born there on the Parchman Farm in 1826.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like she may be my relative.
You need to find out
I
for
will-
sure.
I will
Now I
make
think
sure.
she'll more than likely be going on a little bit after 4, so
Yes.
hopefully will
Oh,
make it in
I
time.
will make it.
And I want to make sure that I introduce you two together, so you all can
Perfect.
connect. You may be related. You never know.
Perfect. And you know what? Many songs, the blues came from Mississippi,
Yes.
from that prison.
Yes.
Those songs were created right there. And one that I love dearly, and I'm more than sure it was created there. Don't remember the artist, Stagger Lee. Have you ever heard of that
I
song?
don't think so.
Stagger Lee,
I think I heard.
Joe Billy, do something. I love that song. I play it all the time, but I don't remember it. And all of the songs are, what are some of the guys? Smokey, whatever. They had these are songs. Not only did they invent or create blues, they did gospel.
They did too.
also.
She has some gospel songs,
Yeah.
hymns.
Yes.
I mean, she talks about nights when they're on the plantations.
Yes.
And they're supposed to go to pick cotton, and how their grandmother used to just do a hymn to kind of get them relaxed. And
Yes.
she puts that history on her music, and I love it. So Archie needs to be ready.
Archie will be ready, and as I said, my great grandmother was captured there. She was born in 1826. She was kidnapped in 1839,
Oh, wow.
age 13, not wrapped, but wired, and walked from Parchman, Mississippi to Jackson, Mississippi, and was auctioned off and walked 678 miles from Jackson, Mississippi to Archer, Florida, and it took them 6 months. And you know what? When the Rosewood Massacre happened, her granddaughter, my aunt, Mahalda Gussie Brown Carrier, the school teacher, was involved, was being tortured and gang raped. She was 97 years old. And my mom said she walked the floor all night long at age 97 and prayed for her granddaughter to return home. So when she returned home, January 4, 1923, she was not living at the time, or was she? Yes, she was. She was still living because she didn't die until 1926 at age 100. So
wow.
she was still in that house when her granddaughter returned. And you're talking about history repeating itself. The same thing that happened to her, because she was raped all the way from, at age 13, from Jackson, Mississippi to Archie.
Oh,
6
wow.
months. Her first kid was, she was impregnated by one of the hired gunmen.
Oh,
Okay, and his name is Albert Bowman. Are you out there, Albert? I know you're not, but your family is there because the Bowman Meditation Center on the University of Florida campus.
Is
those
their
are-
family?
Is his family.
Oh, that's some history.
That's some history. Who
Wow.
knows that other than me? Me. And I have the document, but everything I say, you know, I have to have supporting evidence.
Absolutely.
I have supporting evidence. I have the census record. His name, Albert Borman, and my mom had told me who it was. Does his family know about it? Of course
I'm
not.
sure they do.
No, and he probably, well, he's deceased. But it happened, and it's history, and we can't change it. And it's not to make anybody feel guilty. It's just education.
It's education.
It's educational.
It's our history.
It is our history. History is who we are. And please go to my website. It was it has been updated and it was relaunched today.
Oh, awesome.
Okay, rosewoodflorida.com. So we're still working on it. And we're going to continue to improve it. RosewoodFlorida.com. Make a donation, okay? And send your friends there. As I said, we need the money to help us build this museum. And I'm going to continue to appeal, not beg, to appeal. Because with your help, we can do what we need to do.
I'm
to
sure
make
you
it
will be
happen.
able to accomplish it for sure.
Exactly,
Absolutely.
exactly. And we're looking forward to coming to Ocala.
Ocala,
Yes,
Marion County. We're looking forward to you coming.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
And then
indeed.
again, for some other things, Democratic Women's Club, NAACP.
I'm a member of all of the
Yes,
above.
ma'am. Mhm. Me
And
too.
I'll-
Looking
yes,
forward to it.
yes, yes. And that's what we are going to have to do so that we will be able to tell our history and keep it
Sure.
alive and keep our books out there.
That's
Okay,
right.
we will not allow Black history books to be banned. I stand firm, and I know people stand in solidarity with me. We cannot allow that to happen. And another thing, what's going on as we speak, and not too many people know about it, we are writing a lesson plan, a Rosewood lesson plan
That's awesome.
for the students of Florida,
That's awesome.
colleges and universities. Florida cannot stop history nationwide, Black history.
That's right.
We will not stand for it because we have lived this history. Okay, my great grandmother and our ancestors, all of our ancestors have lived it. And Mom used to tell me about Rosewood, and Mama would also tell me. She said, "Baby, there were a lot of Rosewoods," and what she meant, there were other massacres. Okay,
Yes.
in Ocoee, Cary, Palm Beach. It wasn't a massacre, but the flag, I think its name was Flag or Flagler, invited our blacks to a fish fry, a cookout, and burned their town down while they were gone. So he claimed it. A lot of Rosewood with different names, my mother would say to me. Okay, and I'm just looking forward to continuing to build and to work and to keep Rosewood out there, because I tell people for 30 years I have worked really hard to capture the history, and I have books coming up, and I have books already out there, and we just need to work together with others. And if you want to show this, I don't know if they can
Absolutely.
see it. If you want,
We want to make sure, if you haven't seen it on Facebook, or you can always pull up the Circle Inc. The information is basically there. Purchase a ticket, support. The money goes back to the Circle Inc., which is a nonprofit organization. Money is being raised for scholarships. But with that being said, I want to say something to
okay,
you.
sure.
I want you to know how much I appreciate you.
Oh,
I listen, and I'm hearing all of this history. I do want to be one of the ones that attend on the 10th. So I want to make sure that I'm
Okay.
in company with you all so that I can learn more history of Rosewood. And please make use of me so that I can be a
Okay.
valuable asset.
You
and
said
they can
it.
assist because I'm an advocate for our history, our community outreach, and young people need to know. They need
Exactly.
to know who they are so that they'll know where they are going. And I think it's very important. I just adore you. I appreciate you so much.
Oh,
I just,
Thank
I feel
you.
as though others need to continue this path. We need to team up, we need to rally up, and we need to support you.
well, thank
So
you.
I'm here to support.
I appreciate what you just said so
ma'am.
much. I really do, because it's not easy.
No,
It
this
is
true.
not easy. And what is very important, our kids. Our kids don't realize what
Yeah.
our ancestors went through to get from point A to point B.
This is true.
And I have nieces that say to me and nephews, Auntie, I don't want to hear it. And the reason they don't want to hear it, it's painful. Okay? I said, baby, you are just hearing it. Our ancestors lived it. Okay? And they cannot envision,
Right.
okay, living what we are talking about. And I know when I tell people also that I lived the Jim Crow era through my parents in the 1940s. I remember stepping off the sidewalk to allow white people to stay on the sidewalk. I remember that. I remember my father was a sharecropper, scared to death of his boss, okay, man. And when I say scared, I really mean that. And my dad owned property, lots of property. Well, like 285 acres. That's a lot of property to what people, own. He did not want to be lynched and his property taken and his family, without a dad. And I would hear him at night praying aloud for his safety and for his family's safety. I remember that. But my mother was not afraid. My mom was something else. She was the shotgun toting person in her bra.
Rightfully so.
And switchblade.
Oh, wow.
In her I like to tell people that I remember the first time I heard when someone insulted my dad, and he was afraid to talk. I heard that switchblade go click. End of the story.
Your mom was there.
My mother was something. And someone said, Liz, why do you tell that on your podcast? It's the truth.
It's the truth.
It makes sense. It happened. So I'm not going to hide.
It certainly isn't anything to be ashamed of.
It's not.
Absolutely
it was
not.
Courage, because the people that attacked them were cowards. They did not have the courage to stand toe to toe, as my mom would say. But mother was something else. I appreciate her. And she told us everything. I think I'm the only person to remember it out of her 4 children.
Oh, wow.
But she shared it.
That's good. I'm glad she did.
She did. And I when my mother first gave me this assignment, I was angry. I didn't want to do it. I said, Mom, that's too much. I can't do it. And she said to me one day, if Mama was younger, Mama would do it. And I wanted to say to her, do it. Because I did not want to take on the challenge to do what needed to be done. But today, I'm appreciative. I am happy because I have met so many people, good people like you, so many supporting people like Steve Spurrier.
Absolutely.
Who allows a person in their personal podcast room to talk about history, ugly history.
Right.
Okay? He does. He allows this. He is aware of what happened. But this is his way of supporting change without saying it. And Steve Spurrier, I want you to know, I appreciate you so very much. And Freddie Weeby, I appreciate you too, Freddie. Freddie is on my board. Okay, he is on my Rosewood board. And they have been working with me, really, really dedicated. And I appreciate that. So I just thought I would give them a little shout out to step forward and help because we need it. So, do you have something that's coming up after the 17th?
I do. I appreciate you allowing us to do that. The efforts that will be for Tisha J Consulting, and I'm teaming up with a partner in crime. I call him my partner in crime.
Okay.
This is Mr. Albie Sermon. He's actually here from Atlanta.
Okay.
He was recruited from Atlanta to help with Bishop Stockton, who is the president of the NAACP in the community of the Silver Spring Shores, to teach, put couples back together. Okay. So he's a life coach, and he works with couples, and he teamed up with me. So we said, there's nothing to do on a Sunday afternoon. We need to think of something to do. So him and I said we would, and then he knew you just give me something and I'll run with it. So I came up with Sunday linen and sundresses. Okay. It will take place at the Corkscrew, which is a winery in Ocala, and they specialize in showcasing wines, making wines, craft beers. So we're gonna have a little live entertainment. Some poets are gonna get on the mic, and then we're just gonna enjoy the afternoon.
Oh, by all means, invite me because I am a poet too.
Yes,
I
you
have
to
written
get on the-
poems.
If you're not tired from the long weekend,
I know.
right? But that's what I told him. I said Juneteenth is successfully a weekend affair.
It is.
So we want to kick off Friday. We're going to have something on Saturday, and unfortunately, I won't be in Marion County on Saturday, but I will be supporting in another county, which is Alachua County, and then I'll return back and we'll continue it on Sunday. So Sunday will be a chill out afternoon. Afternoon vibes is what we're calling it.
Okay.
And just mingling professionals, entrepreneurs of the like, and enjoying that nice spot downtown on the square in Ocala.
Okay, and winery, and in Rosewood, they did not have a winery there, but they did make moonshine.
Okay.
Okay, and they ran numbers.
Okay.
Okay, and they lived in shotgun houses, not two-story houses, and people want us to think, and I always like to tell people, as a result of the massacre, there were confirmed 7 people murdered. Okay, and I like to keep it real because I don't want to disrespect the victims that lost their lives. So
Sure.
I try to keep it real. And for years, we have returned to Rosewood and celebrated. And when I say celebrated, we would go rent the park, go there, sing, and pray. Okay, to enrich the soil and let them know that we're thinking about them.
Absolutely.
And many times when we are there, we have heard gunshots in the air. People, the DNA is still there, and I assume they wanted us to know they were still there. However, we were not afraid. We did not leave. We stayed as long as we wanted to and finished our event. And many times, people that lived there, whites that lived in the community, would come out and just watch to see what we were doing. They didn't say anything, but they were there. And that was okay with us. Okay, that was just okay with us. And I've gone through a lot. I have done a lot. I've enjoyed every minute of it, as long as I can share with people
That's right.
what I have experienced.
That's right.
Okay.
Well, we appreciate you.
Thank you very
And the
much.
stories, the history of Rosewood,
Thank you.
for sure.
Thank you. I am continuously humbled, honored, and blessed to meet people daily and invite them to join in peace building, healing, and reconciliation through learning about the history of Rosewood. That will wrap up today's episode. Thanks to Tisha J. I am Queen Lizzie. Until next time, goodbye.